Omagyanatmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuanmitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are continuing with our reading discussion of Śaraṇāgati, songbook by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Suvasini Didi is leading us and hosting this beautiful meeting. So we've reached song 26. We are in the section Varjanatmika, rejection of the unfavorable, amongst the 6 limbs of surrender. And so I believe we went through listening to recording of the song being chanted last week, but we didn't go through the text. So Suvasini, do you want to lead us in that? And welcome, Dulal Krishna Prabhu. Great to have you with us.
Okay, yeah, sure. Tuya bhakti pratikula dharma yateraya parama yatane taha tyajiba nishaya. I will certainly abandon with great care everything that is unfavorable to devotion to you. Tuya bhakti bahirmukha sangha na kariba gauranga virodhi jana mukha na hariba. I will not associate with those who are averse to devotion to you. I will not even look at the faces of those who are inimical to Sri Gauranga. And the commentary by Maharaj here for this verse, Bahir Mukha Sangha. Associate with those who are averse. This refers to the association of those who are averse to Krishna. The extreme to which such association should be abhorred is described in the Katyayana Samhita. Varam hutavaha jwala panjarantar vyavastitihi na shauri chinta vimukha jana sambasa vaishasam. It is better to endure the pain of being locked in a cage surrounded by blazing fire than keep the distressing association of persons averse to Krishna consciousness. Gauranga Virodhi, persons inimical to Sri Gauranga. In his Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita, Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati writes, Vaso me varam astu ghora dahana jwalavali panjare Sri Chaitanya padhara vinda vimukhairma kutrachit sangamaha. Let me remain within a cage of blazing fire, but never in the association of persons averse to Sri Chaitanya's lotus feet. Okay, that's good. So I'll go back to this verse 3 now. Bhakti pratikula sthane na kari vasati bhaktira apriya karye nahi kari rati. I will not reside in a place that is unfavorable to devotion. I will not have affection for any activities that are unfavorable to devotion. Bhaktira virodhi grantha pata na kariba, bhaktira virodhi vyakya kabu na shuniba. I will not read any literature that is opposed to devotion. I will never listen to any discourses that are opposed to devotion. Okay, the commentary here. Bhaktira virodhi grantha. Literature that is opposed to devotion. Once when Sriman Mahaprabhu was describing his day of study to Mother Sachi Devi, he quoted the following verse from Sri Mahabharata about worldly literature. Yasmin Sastre Purane Va Hari Bhaktir Na Drishyate Shrotavyam Naiva Tat Shastram Yadi Brahma Swayam Vadet. One should never hear a scripture that does not describe devotion to Hari, even if it is recited by Brahma himself. the original narrator of Vedic knowledge. Okay. Okay, going back to the verse 5, Gauranga Varjita Sthana Tirtha Nahimani Bhaktira Badaka Jnana Karma Tuchcha Jani. Bhaktira Badaka Jnana Karma Tuchcha Jani. Okay, sorry. I will not consider any place bereft of Sri Gauranga to be a holy place. I will consider all knowledge and activity that obstruct devotion to be contemptible. Okay, Bhaktira Badaka Jnana Karma Tuchcha Jani. I will consider all knowledge and activity that obstruct devotion to be contemptible. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Devashi Narad instructs Vyasadeva, Naishkarmyam apyachyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam putaha punaha shashvat abhadram ishvare na charpitam karma yad apyakaranam. Karma apyakaranam. Even pure knowledge, jnana, free from all worldly entanglement, is never beautiful if it is devoid of devotion to Achyuta. How then can action, karma, which is always miserable, ever be beautiful if it is not offered to him, even if it is selflessly performed? Okay, continuing with verse 6 now. Bhaktira bhadaka kale na kari adhara bhakti bahir mukha nija jane jani para. I will have no fondness for times that are encumbering to devotion. I will consider all my relatives who are averse to devotion to be strangers. Bhaktira bhadika spriha kariba varjana abhakta pradatta anna na kari grahana. I will abandon all desires that hinder devotion. I will not accept any food presented to me by non-devotees. Yaha kich bhakti pratikola bhali jani tejiba yatane tahaye nishayavani. I will carefully abandon whatever I know to be unfavorable to devotion. This is my resolute vow. Vakati vinodapadi prabhura charane maghaye shakati pratikulyera varjane. Falling at the feet of the Lord, Bhakti Vinod prays for the ability to abandon everything unfavorable to devotion. That's the end of.
Wow, some pretty strong verses there, huh?
Yes.
It's like cut, 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 cut. And we want to remember that all these things are actually coming from a place of love, right? That the devotee is feeling so much attachment to the Lord's lotus feet, to service to the Lord, and the joy that is found in such devotion and service. And so naturally, there's this deep aversion to everything that is non-Krishna. That's actually where this place is coming from. And of course, it's also giving us, on the other side, some guideline, right? That we want to try to avoid these things. But we don't want to read this in a spirit of fire and brimstone, and we're all going to hell and that type of thing, right? You can think of it as, sometimes a clear standard and a clear line has to be set, right? And what's that noise? She keeps calling me in the middle of the Zoom meeting. It's my mother. Dandavat Mata. I'm in another Zoom meeting right now. Do you want to talk to Deva Priya again?
I'm taking my final exam today.
Oh, I think she's taking her final exam.
Serbian lesson. Double down, namaste.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes, a clear standard has to be met so that it makes a strong impression within us, right? This is the real standard of devotion, but it is not that we are going to be struck down if we're not able to live up to that, right? And the ideal, right? The ideal is being established also, where we want to move towards. That is what is being clearly laid out in this verse. So those are my comments. And Didi, could you just scroll up a little bit? Just to, here we go. This is a very nice verse. This Srimad Bhagavatam verse, Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. This is a very nice verse. Srila Maharaj discusses this verse, and we see it. It's an important verse, and it's making this point that anything, we are not charmed by either material enjoyment or renunciation, right? Normally, renunciation or the cultivation of knowledge has some special dignity, right? There's some, respect that is generally held for that. But here, from the perspective of pure devotion, that is also unfavorable, right? So it is saying, so anything that is not connected with the service of the Lord, it is na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. It is not beautiful. This word naishkarmya. And it's also kind of, this verse is also, and so this is in Srila Maharaj's commentary, of course, he's referencing this verse. Because remember, all of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, they're written in this simple Bengali, but there's so much deep scriptural reference that's behind it. And so Srila Maharaj in his commentary, he's making those links, right? So wonderfully. And so here in this verse, Srila Maharaj is referencing nice karmya. This is referring to a state of being free from karma, right? That one may be active in this world, but because of their inner mood of detachment and renunciation, they're free from the entanglement of their actions, the reactions to their actions. And normally generally naishkarmya is something that is hankered after, that is strived after, and it may be through great austerity and study. And even in Bhagavad Gita, there's one verse, what is it? Naishkarmyam, but I don't remember the verse, but it's singing the glories of naishkarmya. It is supreme. The word param, I believe, is used. It is supreme. Naishkarmya is such a great thing that everybody's hoping to attain, this state of naishkarmya. But then, see, and this is also a nice example where Bhagavatam is giving that extra layer beyond Gita, right? Gita is giving one level of instruction, of teaching, and then Bhagavatam is giving something higher. And so this is one example where, and there's one talk of Srila Maharaj where he's comparing these verses, saying in Bhagavad Gita, naishkarmya is something celebrated, but in Bhagavatam, it's dismissed. That naishkarmya, achuta bhava varjitam, if there's no connection with devotion to Krishna, then na shobhate, it is not beautiful, it is not attractive, we're not interested. And so this verse is saying, if even that naishkarmya is not attractive without devotion, then what to speak of karma? Anyone with half a brain can see that karmic activity is undesirable. That's just an obvious thing. So yes, and remember, the general spirit of this song is anything that's opposed to our practice of devotion, to our cultivation of devotion, we reject that. We reject that. This is what we are trying to move towards in our daily practice. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulya vivarjana, acceptance of what is favorable, rejection of what is unfavorable. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. Welcome, Ramananda Prabhu has just joined us. And let's open up the floor if anyone wants to share any comments. Suvasini, Didi, anything you'd like to share?
Oh, I wanted to say the same thing as, I said, it's like, there's how much deep, love they have that they can express this, like the extreme, these kind of expressions, like, it's better to be in a cage, with surrounded this blazing fire or something. How much deep affection they have to express these things. Also, there's another point comes to me. It's like, the devotees, like, it's they are so merciful, to be able to give that devotion to others who are also, they are wanted, but still they are very mercifully, um, actually approaching the people who are even, don't want that, so that is also something, um, you know, we are grateful for, because the devotees, being in their mercy, it is not they are abandoning people who are not favorable, but they are trying to give something to encourage them also, isn't it? Is that also comes to me?
That's a very nice point. And that reminds me of that reminds us of that comment of Saraswati Thakur, right? When Vrindavan Das Thakur, he speaks very offensively about persons who are disrespectful of Nityananda Prabhu, right? Then Saraswati Thakur says that actually by doing that, by speaking to these people in this critical way, he's actually inviting mercy for them. He's creating a new channel of mercy, because the Lord will go to compensate. Oh, my devotee has been so disrespectful to you. Please don't mind, please don't mind. So yes, it is true. By this like chastisement, the correction, then there's mercy that is present within that. So yes, that's a nice point, Didi. We have to remember that, right? Everything that comes from the mouth of a pure devotee, it is coming from a place of deep love and mercy. We have to remember that that is what's underlying anything. Praise and chastisement. It is all coming from mercy and love when it is coming from the pure devotees. Why? Because they're free from envy. They're free from envy, and they only want to help all souls. So we have to remember the background of the platform from which something is being said, right?
Right, Gurudev, I have this quote here. He says, "One who can feel the pain of others can chastise."
Wow, that's
deep. One of Gurudev's.
That's beautiful. One who can feel the pain of others can chastise. Where is that from?
I didn't know down where it was from.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice.
Gurudev, one of Gurudev's talks, I also listened to that point. Yeah.
Oh, you heard that too in one of Gurudev's talks.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yes, it's very nice. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Welcome, Axel, who's also joined us. Does anyone else want to share any reflections on what we've just been through? Or should we move on to the next song? Okay, well, let's see, maybe someone else feels inspired to lead us in the reading. Any volunteers? Or maybe shall I just go ahead and read it? Okay, I'll just read it. I don't want to put pressure on anyone. Vishaya Vimuda ar Mayavadi Jan, Bhakti Shunya Duhe Pran, Dore Akaran, E Dui Sangana Na Hoy Amar, Partana Koriye Ami Charane Tomar. Se Duyer Madhya Vishai Tabu Balo, Mayavadi Sanganahi Magi Kun Kalo. So those are the first 3 verses. Both materialists and illusionists, Mayavadis, are devoid of devotion and maintain their lives in vain. O Lord, at your feet I pray that I will never associate with these 2 kinds of offenders. Between the 2 of them, however, materialists are better. I never ever desire the association of illusionists. When the hearts, what happens in number 3? Did I read that translation? Or?
Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. So to the Bengali. Vishai Hridoy Jabe, Sadhu Sangapai, Anayase, Labe Bhakti, Bhaktir Kripai, Mayavad Dosh Jar, Hridoye Pashilo, Hutarke, Hridoy Tar, Rajra Sama Belo, Bhaktir Sarupar Vishoy Ashoy, Mayavadi Anitya Bolia Sabkoy. When the hearts of materialists come into the association of sadhus, they easily attain devotion by the mercy of those devotees. Once the contamination of illusionism has entered one's heart, however, one's heart becomes as hard as a thunderbolt by the influence of fallacious logic. The illusionists say that the Lord, his devotees, and devotion itself are non-eternal and thus illusory. Diktar Krishna Seva, Shavana Kirtan, Krishna Ange, Vajrahane, Tahar Stavan, Mayavad Sam Bhakti Pratikul Nai, Attaiva Mayavadi Sanga Nahi Chai. Fie on their pretense of service to Krishna, fie on their pretense of hearing and chanting Krishna's glories. Their prayers to Krishna are like thunderbolts hurled at his divine body. There is nothing more unfavorable to devotion than illusionism. Therefore, I never desire the association of illusionists. So this phrase illusionism, and illusionist has been chosen to translate a Mayavad conception. And the Mayavad conception is, I think everyone is somewhat familiar with, it is stating that there's no, the Lord, and that, no, there's this very heavy statement. We've heard Srila Maharaj quote this, like their chanting of the holy name of Krishna is like thunderbolts upon his body. Why? Because they don't even believe in the body of Krishna, right? They believe that, everything is one, that we are also God, and that any expression of form and diversity is an illusion, right? So it is a very heavy and insidious conception. It's also compared to a type of spiritual suicide, because once you enter that that plane of merging into Brahman, you're losing any chance of service to the Lord. And so it is saying here, it is better just to be a normal person enjoying in the world, right? You still have some chance of rendering some service to the Lord and his devotees, whether knowingly or unknowingly, right? So, yes, and again, everything I said before about the previous song, repeat. It's a very heavy song, yeah. Any other comments from anyone? Or should we move on to the next song? Suvasini, Didi, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think I have anything to add here. So, no.
Shaka Didi, I have one question.
Yes.
So, who is considered materialist? Because pretty much except devotee, everybody is materialist or karmis.
I mean, this song is, in a general sense, you could say this song is referring to the tendencies for mukti and bhukti, right? We're told these are the 2 main obstacles, the tendencies for exploitation and the tendency for renunciation. So, and of course, all of us are struggling with these tendencies to different degrees. But yes, of course, generally the mode of this world is that of bhukti, right? And enjoyment. I don't know if that answers your question, Guru.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, everybody want to enjoy and accumulate more and more. I used to have a friend, he is nice, I don't know, had good serving attitude. But there were some, I don't know, things. So I have to distance because, as they say, not to associate with materialists or non-devotees. And I don't know, sometimes it confused me. He was sometimes better than many devotees, very humble, very kind. He helped me in many ways. But I don't know, then I'm trying to distance myself. Because he is not interested in devotion, I gave him Bhagavad Gita. I try to encourage him. But yeah, he is from Sikh background, but they are not interested. They are more interested in, I don't know, money and karma. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can be tricky when we're choosing the right association, right? I mean, the first principle is that we are aspiring for the same ideal of life, right? I mean, it is true what you say. There are many people in the world who we could say are, better than ourselves in many ways, right? However, if they don't have the same ideal of life that we are striving for, then ultimately, how helpful will their association be? How close do we? Obviously, we can have some level of a relationship, but do we want to take them close within our heart, right? It won't be so helpful for our spiritual advancement, right? So the first thing we will look for is that we share the same ideal of life, right? That we are striving for the same goal when it comes to the most meaningful things, right? That is the first thing we will look for. And then within that field, and we were discussing this yesterday, we will honor everyone, right? But then there may be those who are more helpful and less helpful for a close association, right? So it can be tricky to select what we feel is the most suitable association for ourselves. But of course, we want to honor everyone, and there's one place, I believe it's Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he talks about different types of offenses. And one offense is jiva aparad, like offense. Normally we hear a lot about Vaishnava aparad, and of course that is the most serious, making offense, criticism, envy towards the devotees. That is the most serious offense for our spiritual life. But there's also jiva aparad, when we are offensive to anyone in the world, that won't obviously affect us in the same way as Vaishnava aparad, but it will invite some negative reaction in our life, which won't be supportive of our spiritual development. So we want to honor everyone, right? But the point is, in what degree, right? To what degree and what capacity we are honoring them. That is the point. So, but it can be tricky to find the right point, right? The right point of proximity. It will be different for everyone, for our neighbors, for co-workers, for fellow devotees, for senior devotees, for junior devotees, and so on. It can be a tricky thing. And Srila Rupa Goswami discusses this in Upadeshamrita, right? That it is important that we make some healthy discrimination, and we make some adjustment in how we relate with different devotees and different persons in the world as well. And that will be, if we can do that successfully, that will be helpful for us and helpful for them as well. Okay, well, I hope that
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was very helpful.
Suvasanji, anything you'd like to add, or should we go on to the next song?
Yes, Didi, I don't have much to add here. No, thanks. It's very nice what you explained. It's very good. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have a bit of a jump here. we're going to quite a high song here. So all of these different limbs of surrender, right, they will be expressed in different ways according to our level of realization, right? And so there's some, there we can see in this section, there's some development. What is rejection of the what does rejection of the unfavorable mean for someone like me? What does rejection of the unfavorable mean for an advanced Vaishnava, right? Those are two different things. And so here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is kind of jumping into this much higher plane, into the realm of service to Shri Radha and Krishna, entering into some more finer points. And maybe we can actually listen to this song, little musical interlude. So maybe maybe we can switch over to myself, Suvasini Didi, and I have the song here. I can
Yes, yeah, okay.
share the audio. Oh yeah, share sound. Let's see. Okay, Ami to Swananda. And can anyone here, for extra credit, can anyone remember this Swananda Sukkada? Does anyone remember where this is? Swananda Sukkada, does it ring any bells?
I remember it.
You remember where is it, Prabhu?
It's in Srabikunja, I think.
Yes, well done.
Yeah, I'm lucky I've been there by Gurudev mercy.
That's
Bhakti
right.
Vinod.
That's the name of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Kutir, where he resided in his final days. Yeah. Did you go there, Pops? Sananda Sukkada Kunjan? Maybe a long time ago. So Swananda, it's an interesting expression. There isn't a direct translation, but it's put here as the place of personal service of Srimati Radharani. Swananda, joy within oneself, and Sukkada, giving joy. That's like a direct translation as far as I can understand. But there must be some reason why that isn't given. But it's a place connected with the service of Srimati Radharani, and of course Bhaktivinoda Thakur is living within that plane. Okay, so we're going to play this song.
আমি তো সানন্দ সুখদবাসী রাধিকা মাধব চরণ দাসী
আমি তো সানন্দ সুখদবাসী রাধিকা মাধব চরণ দাসী
দুহার মিলনে আনন্দে করি দুহার বিয়োগে দুঃখেতে মরি
দুহার মিলনে আনন্দ করি দুহার বিয়োগে দুঃখেতে মরি
সখীস্থলী নাই হেরি নয়নে দেখিলে শৈবাকে পরায়ে মনে
সখীস্থলে নাহি হেরি নয়নে দেখিলে শৈবাকে পরয়ে মনে
যে যে প্রতিকূল চন্দ্রার সখী প্রাণের দুঃখ পাই তাহারে দেখি
যে যে প্রতিকূল চন্দ্রার সখী প্রাণে দুঃখ পায় তাহারে দেখি
রাধিকা কুঞ্জ আধার করি লইতে চায় সে রাধার হরি
রাধিকা কুঞ্জ আধার করি লইতে চাহে সে রাধার হরি
শ্রী রাধা গোবিন্দ মিলন সুখ প্রতিকূল জন নাহেরি মুখ
শ্রী রাধা গোবিন্দ মিলন সুখ প্রতিকূল জন নাহেরি মুখ
রাধা প্রতিকূল যতেক জন সম্ভাষণ কবু না হয় মন
রাধা প্রতিকূল যতেক জন সম্ভাষণে কবু না হয় মন
ভক্তি বিনোদ শ্রীরাধা চরণে সবেছে পরানো অতীব যতনে
ভগবতী বিনোদ শ্রী রাধা চরণে শুভেছে পারানো অতীব যতনে
ভক্তি বিনোদ শ্রীরাধা চরণে সবেছে পরানো অতীব যতনে
ভগবতী বিনোদ শ্রী রাধা চরণে শুভেছে পরাণ অতীব যতনে
All right. Well, I'll just read through this translation. I'm a resident of Swananda Sukara Kunja and a maidservant of Shri Shri Radhika Madhava's feet. I rejoice when the divine couple are united. I die in distress when they are separated. I never cast my glance toward Saki Stali. If I see it, I am reminded of Shaibya. I feel pain in my heart whenever I see any of Chandravali's unfavorable friends. They always want to take away Radha's Hari and enshroud her grove in gloom. I never look at the face of anyone who is opposed to the ecstatic union of Shri Radha and Shri Govinda. I never desire to speak with anyone who is inimical toward Shri Radha. Bhakti Vinod has surrendered his heart at Shri Radha's feet with great care. Okay, well, I feel like I've been speaking too much. Let's hear from Suvasini Didi first. Suvasini, please share your thoughts.
Well, I don't have much to say here, actually. Well, you said the point that's the important point. It's like, where it is this, what is appropriate for, the higher devotees, what they want. It is from our level, we can only, hear these things and, we can, that for them it is real, right? For them it is more real. They are living in that plane and they are actually, in that level. And what they are, the unfavorable, what they're rejecting, what is the unfavorable, that from their level. Yeah. Actually. So I don't know. I don't think I have much to say here. So that is, we worship that, and whatever they have expressed, maybe at some, only pray for their grace to practice in our life, devotion practice, or, taking, their instructions, going, in our way, small way, whatever we can do to practice Śaraṇāgati, to practice devotion. And that's all we can do. I don't think I have much to say here.
Thank you, Didi. That's wonderful. You covered all the main points, I think. Maybe I'll just add the background for anyone who isn't familiar. You may be wondering, what are some of these names here? And so I did mention it not too long ago, but Chandravali, this is within the divine play of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Welcome Kirtida, who also joined. But Chandravali, she has the role of a rival to Radharani. She's competing with Radharani. And this is, of course, all to, enhance the drama, right? And enhance the value of Radharani's service. This is all part of the divine play. It is not based on envy, as competition in this world so often is, but it is part of the Leela of the Lord, making things a little more spicy, a little more interesting. So Chandravali, she plays that role of a rival to Radharani. And Saki Stali is the place of her residence. Shaibya is one of her principal attendants. I believe. Unfavorable companions. I feel pain in my heart whenever I see any of Chandravali's unfavorable friends, because Bhaktivinoda is in the mood of a maidservant of Radharani. And so he has that mood of defending Radharani's position like that. And as Suvasniji was saying so nicely, this doesn't mean anything to us right now. We don't want to pretend that it does, but to those who are deep in connection with Srimati Radharani and her service, her devotion, this is all very, very meaningful. And we hear when Saraswati Thakur would hear this song, his body would shudder, like when he would hear Saki Stali, when he heard Chandravali. It was very disturbing to him, because he's so much on the side of Srimati Radharani. And our Gurudev also, I heard from Trivikram Maharaj, one occasion, someone from Brazil had sent him a letter, and it was some woman from another mission, and somehow she had the name Chandravali. And our Gurudev became very disturbed when he heard that, and he was asking Trivikram Maharaj, like, very upset, who is this lady? She's not a part of our group, how did she get this name? And so we're honoring this feeling of the higher devotees when we hear this song. Okay, well, we still have time. Should we move on to the next section, Suvasini, unless anyone else wants to add a comment or has a question? We can go on to the next song. Acceptance of the favorable. So be a little more cheerful. Anukul Yatmika, accepting the favorable. Okay, let's hear this song as well. Let's see where we are here.
Tua bhakti anukulo je karya hai.
Tua bhakti anukulo je karya hai.
Param jatane taha koribo nichai.
Param jatane taha koribo nichai.
Bhakti anukula jata Vishaya samsare.
Bhakti anukula jata Vishaya samsare.
Koribo tahate roti indriyar dare.
Koribo tahate roti indriyar dare.
Shunibo tomara katha যতন করিয়া।
শুনিব তোমার কথা যতন করিয়া।
দেখিব তোমার ধাম নয়ন ভরিয়া।
দেখিব তোমার ধাম নয়ন ভরিয়া।
তোমার প্রসাদে দেহ করিব পোষণ।
তোমার প্রসাদে দেহ করিব পোষণ।
নৈবেদ্য তুলসী ঘ্রাণ করিব গ্রহণ।
নৈবেদ্য তুলসী ঘ্রাণ করিব গ্রহণ।
বরদারে করিব তো মার সেবা সদা
বরদারে করিব তোমার সেবা সদা
তোমার বসতি স্থলে বসিব সর্বদা
তোমার বসতি স্থলে বসিব সর্বদা
তোমার সে কাম নিয়োগ করিব
তোমার সেবায় কাম নিয়োগ করিব
ওই তোমার বিদ্বেষে জনে ক্রোধ দেখাইব
ও তোমার বিদেশী জনে ক্রোধ দেখাইব
এই রূপে সর্ববৃত্তি আর সর্বভাব
এই রূপে সর্ববৃত্তি আর সর্বভাব
তুয়ায় অনুকূল হয়ে লঘুক প্রভাব
তুয়ায় অনুকূল হয়ে লঘুক প্রভাব
তুয়া ভক্ত অনুকূল যাহা যা করি
তুয়া ভক্ত অনুকূল যাহা যাহা করি
তুয়া ভক্তি অনুকূল বলি তাহা ধরি
তুয়া ভক্তি অনুকূল বলি তাহা ধরি
ভক্তি বিনোদ নাহি জানে ধর্ম ধর্ম
ভক্তি বিনোদ নাহি জানে ধর্ম ধর্ম
ওই ভক্তি অনুকূলতা হোক সর্বকর্ম
ভক্তি অনুকূলতার
তুয়া ভক্তি অনুকূল যে যে কার্য হয়
তুয়া ভক্তি অনুকূল যে যে কার্য
Oh, and that. All right. So I'll just read this translation. I will certainly perform with great care all activities that are favorable to devotion to you. With my senses, I will take pleasure in those things within the material world that are favorable to devotion. I will carefully listen to discussions about you. Beholding your abode, I will fill my eyes. I will maintain my body with your remnants alone. I will savor the fragrance of the tulasi leaves and manjaris that have been offered to you. With my hands, I will always engage in your service. I will always reside in a place where you reside. I will engage all my desires in your service. I will show anger towards those who are inimical to you. Having become favorable to devotion in these ways, may all of my actions and thoughts gain glory. And let's see, we have a commentary here on verse 7. May all of my actions and thoughts gain glory. In his Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Śaraṇāgati Thakur describes how one can engage lust, anger, greed, and so forth in devotional service. Kam Krishna Karmarpane, Krodh Bhakta Dveshi Jane, Lobh Sadhu Sange Hari Katha. moha ishta labha vine, mada Krishna gunagane, niyukta karibo jata tata. I will engage my selfish desires by offering my actions to Krishna. I will direct my anger towards those inimical to the devotees. I will engage my greed in hearing and discussing the Lord in the association of the sadhus. I will become bewildered if I am unable to obtain my beloved master, and I will madly chant Krishna's glories in an intoxicated mood. In this way, I will befittingly engage my enemies in the Lord's service. So this verse, this song is in our Kirtan guide. It's often overlooked, but it's a beautiful song, quite long, by Narottam Thakur. And our Gurudev liked this verse very much, and we heard him quoted a few times. And it's discussing how we can use everything in the service of the Lord, even what would normally be considered, bad qualities. So it is listing here what are referred to sometimes as the 6 enemies: lust, anger, greed, madness. What is it? Lust, anger, greed, madness. Madness, and then illusion.
Envy, yeah,
Right.
envy,
Except for
illusion.
envy. Yeah, envy is one of the 6, but it is also notable that envy is the only one not included here. And it was a point that our Gurudev made, that is the only, we can use everything. We can use our lust, we can use our anger, we can use greed, we can use bewilderment, we can engage, there's a positive expression, there's a positive way to channel these tendencies, except for envy. So envy is our greatest enemy. That we must be very careful about. And this is the principle of Krishna consciousness, the principle of bhakti, right? That is being expressed in this verse, that nothing is to be rejected. Everything is simply to be expressed in connection with devotion. And this verse is so nice that all of our actions and thoughts gain glory when they are in connection with the service of the Lord, when they are in connection with devotion to the Lord. It's a very, very wonderful line. And it is an important principle in devotion, right? Like a bridge, we can try to connect everything with the lotus feet of Guru and Gauranga. And in that way, everything within us will become purified and glorified, as it is being expressed here so beautifully. And welcome Rupanuga, Prabhu, Kirtida, those who have joined. Okay, we'll go on here. Whatever I do that is favorable to your devotees, I consider to be favorable to devotion to you. Bhakti Vinod knows neither religion nor irreligion. May all his actions be favorable to devotion. So this is very revolutionary expression, right? That we are not ultimately interested in religion or irreligion, sin or piety, good or bad. And we touched upon this yesterday in our discussion of the different modes of material nature, right? Sattvic qualities versus or we could say sattva gun versus shuddha sattva, pure goodness, right? Religion that is not favorable to the service of Krishna, we are not interested in that. We are not interested in general piety, general goodness, if there's no connection with devotion to Krishna. So this is a very revolutionary conception that is presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is presented by, also indicated in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures, but most clearly exposed in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a point which our Gurudev would discuss, right? It is a revolutionary point, can be difficult to understand, but this is our one principle: devotion to Krishna, right? Love for Krishna, service to Krishna. Tat parat vena nirmalam. This is the verse which I've been thinking of as we've been going through this. What is the first line? Subhasini, I know you remember that. What is the first line? The tat parat vena nirmalam. Sarvopadi, that's it. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat parat vena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir ujjate. Let me bring it up on our screen here. so everyone can see it. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj appreciated this verse very much. It's one of the foundational verses defining what is pure devotion. And it's coming from Srila Rupa Goswami. Tat Parat Vena. Okay. My dad's saying that Srila Prabhupada quoted it often too. Yeah, it's a very key verse. It's in Bhakti Rasamrita, included originally Narada Pancharatra, and I believe Rupa Goswami includes it, yeah, in Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Let me bring up a nice instance of it here. Yeah, here it is. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. So it's very, very wonderful verse. And this line, which I was pulling out, which is key to this, what we've just been going through today, everything. So the word nirmal means pure. So whatever is paratvena, whatever is in the interest of Krishna, that is pure. Even if it is, of course, this is a dangerous conception. You know, we don't want to be too liberal in applying it to ourselves, right? But we want to appreciate the principle, right? That whatever is in connection with the service of Krishna, that is pure. As much to the extent that it is really genuinely in the interest of service to Krishna, welcome Dana, it is nirmal, it is pure. And on the other hand, if it is apparently pure, but there's no real touch of devotion to Krishna, there's no connection with Krishna's service, that is not real purity. And we also discussed this in the beginning of our meeting today. And it's a very nice verse. It actually kind of covers, it brings together a lot of the points we discussed today. I don't have the full verse written out here, but this other line is there, Hrishikesha, Hrishikena, Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. So Krishna is Hrishikesh, means the master of the senses. So when we offer all our senses, this is so nice, actually. It's the whole point behind this point of acceptance of the favorable anukulyasya sankalpa, right? That Krishna, that the Lord, he is the Lord of the senses. He is the master of the senses. So the senses are not to be rejected. But devotion means to engage our senses in the service of the master of the senses. That is the proper expression of all of our faculties, not to use them to exploit for our own purpose, nor to renounce, but to connect them with the service of Krishna, who is the master of the senses. So it's a really nice, that verse is a nice meditation to end on as we come to the end of our meeting today. Let me find a better, here we go. Sarvopadi, you have it there.
Yeah.
Sarvopadi vinirmuktam, here it is, tatpadatvena nirmalam, Rishikesha, Rishikena, Sevana. It's a very, very, very helpful verse. Okay, well, we're kind of just coming out of time now. We've had a few joining right at the end today. Well, Suvasini Didi, any last comments you'd like to add for our group today?
Well, engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord, that is like a beautiful thing. It's also reminded of the sloka Ambarishma. Is it Ambarish? Is that right?
Yes.
Savai Manaha Krishna Padhara Vindayor. So Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunarnavarne. So it's very beautiful verse. So I just wanted to say that maybe the next it's just beautiful. Every sense is engaged in the service of the Lord. So I like that very much.
That's a very nice verse, and Srila Gurudev liked that verse very much. I'm trying to bring up a nice instance of it here.
So, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a full verse, but yeah, we'll save it for next week.
Yeah, we can save it for next week. It's quite a 2-3 verses together.
Yeah, it's quite a long verse, yeah, and it's describing how this Ambarish Maharaj engaged every faculty, every part of his body in the service of Krishna in different ways. So yeah, that's a really nice verse to go through. And also I saw that Marie had to leave and she had a question in the chat, but we'll save it for next time. Does anyone else have any comments before we end our meeting today? Thank you all for joining, for your uplifting association. So happy to have you back in our meetings, Dulab Prabhu.
Happy to be here with you all. So good.
Okay, well, oh, I can stop our share right now. Wait, I see a pause share, but I don't see a stop share. I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, okay, we can close for today. Wishing you all a happy week ahead and look forward to next time. Thank you for hosting, Subhasini Didi.
My pleasure. Yes. Thank you so much for your association, everybody. It's association. And thank you.
Jai Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Humble devotees, sincere seekers ki Jai, Jai Subhasini ki Jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan
Jai.
ki Jai. Itai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Didi ki jai, all the assembled devotees.
Jai.
And
Nitai.
Jyotina, happy to see you. I think I forgot to say hello. Great to see you. Okay, see you all next time. Hari Bol.
And